This video was created to help boaters understand the different sources of boat-generated pollution and what boaters can do to help make a difference in the health of our nation's waterways. Many sources of pollution plague our oceans, lakes, and rivers. Urban runoff continues to be the largest source, bringing with it harmful trash, oil, bacteria, and chemicals. These materials not only take away from the natural beauty of our waterways, but have harmful effects on marine life and our own lives as well. Although not the primary source, boat-generated pollution is a cause for concern. The number of boaters has grown tremendously in recent years, and along with that comes an increase in the amount of pollution directly introduced into the marine environment. Fortunately, by making small changes in our own habits, many of these adverse effects can be greatly reduced. Whether you own a sailboat, powerboat, or personal watercraft, by adjusting some common habits, you can help keep our precious waterways healthy for generations to come. Today, you will learn about how, as a boater, you can make a difference so we can all enjoy our recreational waters even more. In this video, we'll cover different kinds of boat-generated pollution, such as oil, fuel, and sewage, hazardous waste, cleaning and maintenance, and marine debris.
Urban runoff is an unintended consequence of having a large city right next to the ocean. Every time it rains or we water our lawns, the loose pieces of 10 million people's lives flow into the storm drains and rivers, and then without treatment wash right into our coastal ocean. Boaters can have an impact on coastal water quality if they're not careful, especially when they're in harbors, places that don't flush very much. You've got bottom paints and other materials that come off the boats. You got the holding tanks and areas where the human waste goes. If those are flushed directly into the harbor, it can have a dramatic effect on water quality.
Boaters, whether they know it or not, care deeply about the marine environment. Consciously or unconsciously, they love beautiful, clean ocean to recreate in. They're going to be partaking of their sport, boating, in an ocean that's dying or in an ocean that's increasingly alive. As it is now, we have an ocean, and a coastal ocean, an urban ocean, that is in a state of decline. Species diversity is declining, the quality of the water is declining, the number of postings on our beaches are going up. Boaters want to be able to dive overboard and have a good time when they're out boating. In order to do that, they're going to have to think about the future of our marine environment. Our marine environment is impacted by numerous impacts. Theirs is a very direct impact. Their bottom paint, without any treatment, goes direct to the bottom of the ocean. Their cleaning fluids and solvents go direct into the ocean. When they sand, the particles that they sand go direct into the ocean. Every activity that the boaters carry out, whether it's disposal of their trash or just the innocent act of fueling up their boat at the boat dock, any spills are going to directly affect the ocean. So boaters should care because they're going to make a difference in whether or not our waters that they love to recreate in improve as we go into the future, or they continue a steady decline, lower species diversity, greater number of days of beach closings, inability to actually use the water that they're floating in. This is why boaters should care.
There are many ways that used motor oil enters our local waterways and oceans. Examples include illegal dumping, oily bilge water discharge, and poor disposal habits. Each has a significant impact on the marine environment. Think of it this way. 1 gallon of oil, or just one oil change, can pollute 1 million gallons of drinking water. That's equal to a 1-year supply of drinking water for 50 people.
What the issue with used oil is that there are a lot of toxins in the used oil, heavy metals particularly, that are very toxic, and testing in laboratories show that different types of heavy metal are considered carcinogens and cause cancer. So the main issue with used oil are the different toxins that are involved in that.
There is a need to encourage everyone to recycle used oil. People who change their own motor oil need to remember they are part of the bigger picture. Finding a location to recycle used oil is as easy as calling 1-800-CLEANUP.
We all know what oil is. The question is, what is oily bilge water? Oily bilge water is when you have an engine leak or any type of fuel or oil that leaks into your bilge and mixes with the water that's there. It then becomes oily bilge water. It becomes very difficult to separate the oil from the water, so it needs to be disposed of as oily waste or hazardous waste. You can't just dump it over the side or let your bilge pump kick on to dispose of that. So you need to dispose of that properly. It's very important that that's done.
Many boats are equipped with automatic bilge pumps to prevent engine and boat damage. The problem with this feature is that as a boat takes on water, any fluid leaking from the engine mixes with this water and is automatically pumped overboard when the bilge pump is activated. As a result, the water containing oil, transmission fluid, and fuel pollute our local waterways and oceans and can be harmful to people and marine life. Boaters can help reduce the amount of pollution discharged by taking care of their vessel and minimizing leaks in the engine compartment. Bilge pads that repel water but can absorb up to 1 gallon of petroleum products can also be used. If available, boaters can even use a bilge pump-out station to remove any contaminated water contained in the bilge.